Good evening, everyone. Am I properly audible to all? Just let me know if my voice is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Just a second. Let me share my screen and then we'll start with the code. All right. What did we do in the previous day? Can anyone tell me what did we do in the previous day? And I'm asking you guys.
What is JWT, cookies, session ID, and how to connect MongoDB URL?
Okay. All right, Samisha. What about others? Do you people have lost your internet connection or what? I can see you people virtually present over here, but none of you are opening your mics and responding me back. In the previous class only and in the very first session, I have told you people to respond me back whenever I ask certain questions. And if I'll ask one thing over here, then everyone will start opening their mics and will respond me back. If I'll ask if the screen is visible. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See, I told you. So, all right. Ashutosh, you tell me how many parts does a JWT has?
3.
Name them.
First is the type which signature happened, and one is message like body, and the third one is what the
Ma'am, the first thing is the header, which contains the type of algorithm the JWT uses, and the second thing is the payload, which our data we are transmitting between the client and the server, and the third thing is the signature.
Okay. All right. So now, as we have seen in the previous class, we have a schema over here. That is the user schema. All right, inside which we are having three fields. First is the name, second comes the email, and third is the password. All right, and then comes the timestamps. Now, what do we mean by the timestamp? When we are adding timestamp, at that time, what will happen? Whenever we try to send a request to the server, at that time, the time of sending the request and the time when the data got created in the database along with the date of that particular day will get stored in the form of a timestamp. Along with the creation of that particular data, we will also receive the updation of the data. Like if we want to update any particular data present inside the database, at that time, the date and time of updation will also be stored. So this is all about our schema. Then moving on to the connection, that is the db.js. For this, what do you people need to do? People need to provide your MongoDB URI, your port number, and we will see what do we mean, what do we provide the JWT secret key inside this .env file. So what I will do, I will open my previous folder and I will import my MongoDB URIs from there. I will copy this entire thing and then I will paste it over here. Alright, here is my Mongo URI and port number and JWT secret key. So let's just rename it Mongo URI. Save it. Now, moving on to our auth controller.js. Now, inside the controller, we write the logic, isn't it? So for that purpose, what is the first thing that you people need to do? You people need to install these all dependencies with the help of which command? Can anyone tell me which command do we use in order to install the dependencies?
npm.
Ma'am,
npm install.
Wait. So install these dependencies with the help of npm install and then write bcrypt separated by a space, write cors and then separated by a space .env and similarly express JSON Web Token and mongoose. Inside the auth controller.js, what I am going to do, I am going to import the bcrypt dependency and the JSON web token dependency. After that, I will also import the user schema that we have just created inside the model. So here what we are going to do, we will provide const bcrypt is equal to require. Here I will provide bcrypt. And then I will take the JSON web token, which I will store inside the JWT variable. That is require JSON web token. And after that, I will take the user schema is equal to require from the models. I require the user schema. All right. So we are done till this much. And then what I will do, I will create a function whose name is going to be register is equal to, I will assign an asynchronous arrow function to this register variable. And inside this, as all of you know, a couple of parameters will be passed, request and response. And then we are going to provide, okay, just tell me what is the first thing that we do when we want to create a particular data inside the database? What do we do? What did we do in the previous class when we created a data inside the database and performed the CRUD operation? Abhishek, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Abhishek, just tell me what do we write when we try to create a data inside the database?
Schema.
That part we have done. We have already designed the schema. What do I have to write in the controller when I'm trying to make a create request? What logic should I write? See, if you people are not going to answer to my questions, I'll stop asking questions inside the class. And then at the time of review, I'm going to ask that much tough level of questions, and then you will understand how are you going to answer them. All right. So from now onwards, I'm not going to ask any kind of questions inside the class, since you
And
people are not answering me back.
expose dot create user.
No, Ayush. You can switch your mic off and yeah. So here, the first thing that we did is we took the data from the user. Which data? The data which we want to store in the database, and we are going to store the value of each data inside the variable. So in the database, what all things do we have? We have the name, email, and password. So here I will provide three variables for three different values. Is name, email, and password is equal to, from where I'm going to take it? I'm going to take it from the request dot body. And then comes the try catch block. Inside the try block, I will try to provide a validation. What kind of validation? If in the email field someone writes something without the @gmail.com, over there it is going to provide that please enter a valid email. Similarly, here I am going to provide a validation. Or if someone will try to submit an empty field, so at that time I will provide some different message to it that these fields are required whenever you are trying to submit the form. So here I will provide a condition. If here I will provide not, and then I will write name, or if not email, or if not password. This means all the three fields are required whenever the user is trying to register himself. Then it will return, if these all things are not present, then it will return with a response of status code 400, and then it will provide a JSON message, provide name, email, and password before submitting. So this is the basic validation. Then comes the checking of whether the user is already existing in the database. So here we can assume a we can assume a use case. What kind of case is that? Whenever you are installing a security guard at your house. All right. So at that time, you are going to provide the list of the members who are residing in your house, so that the security guard will be able to know which member should he let in or which member should he keep outside of the house, isn't it? So that entire data about all the members should be provided to the security guard, and that security guard will check whom to allow inside the home and whom he should not allow inside the home. Which means what? Here we are going to check if the email which will be provided by the user is already existing in the database. And if it is already existing in the database, at that time the user will receive that you have already registered yourself in the website. So for that, we are going to write let user is equal to followed by the await keyword, since we are creating an asynchronous function. So here we will provide await user dot find one method. Now here comes the difference. What is the basic difference between the find method and the find one method? So whenever we use the find method, it tries to read all the data which is present inside the database. But when it comes to the find one method, it is just going to check only the email fields of different collections present inside the database. So here I will provide email. Then comes one more condition, which is if user, which means if the user is present inside the database. At that time, it will return with a status of 400, saying that this user is already existing. User already exists. All right. And if the user is not existing inside the database, what will happen? Here, we are going to create a salt value. This means we are going to provide is equal to dot. Here we are going to write a method that is gensalt. And here we are going to assign the value 10 to the salt value. Now the question arises, why are we writing the salt value? Say for example, if you might have come across a website which will ask you to provide a strong password. So what happens at that time when you provide a weak password? Say for example, you are providing the password of Instagram as Instagram only. So the encryption that is performed, that kind of encryption uses the same encryption algorithm in order to encrypt a particular text. So when you provide a weaker password, the encryptions will all be of similar type. Say for example, your friend has also provided the password as Instagram only. So for both of you, the encryption password will be same. At that time, it becomes easier for the hacker at the different side to predict your password, right? So what do? We provide a salt value along with the password in order to protect our password, which makes each password unique. That is why we use the salt value. And after writing the salt value, what is the next thing that we have to do? We just have to hash our passwords. So for that, we will write const and then hashed. Hashed is the variable. Followed by the await keyword, we will provide bcrypt dot hash method, and inside this hash method we are going to pass two parameters. First one is the password which will be provided by the user. Second one is the salt value. So this is how we hash our password before saving it. All right. After that, what do? We will create user is equal to new keyword and then user schema, and then comes the name, email, and then password, which we are going to store in the database. But this time we are not storing the normal password that we as the user are sending to the server, but in place of the password we will store the hash password that we have just hashed. So this one is going to be a all right. So now what we will do, we have assigned it, we have created a new data. Now we are going to save it with the help of user.save method. All right. Now what we are going to do, since we know that the JWT has a payload, now we are going to sign that JWT. All right. So here what are we going to do? Sign of token. Here I will create one more variable, that is const payload is equal to, here I will provide ID. It will take the user dot underscore ID. Now you'll ask me, why have we provided underscore ID over here? When you will see your MongoDB, at that time the ID will be preceded by the underscore only, which means what? The payload will contain the user's unique ID. After that, the payload is also going to contain the user's email. All right. So here we will provide email user dot email. And after that, we are going to sign the token. So for that, I will create a token is equal to, how to sign a token with the help of jwt.sign method. Inside the sign method, we have to provide the payload followed by the JWT secret key that we have stored inside the .env file. So for that, I will write process.env yeah, I will write process.env.jwt secret followed by the time of expiration within which the token will get expires. So here I will provide expires in. Inside that I will take the value. So for example, 1 hour. I want the token to get expired after 1 hour. So these all things we just have to provide inside the sign method in order to sign the token. And when the user will successfully send the register request, at that time the user will get the status of 200 followed by, in a JSON format, he is going to get the token followed by the user's details. What all details will the user get in the response? It will get the ID followed by, he will also get name okay followed by uh, the email. All right. So now we have also set the response which will be which the user will get. Then comes handling of the error if any kind of error happens. And here we will provide error, and this error message will provide whichever error is happening in the server. And then finally, with a response of status code 500 and a JSON message, and this will provide server error. So now we are done with the register function. Now what we will start? We will start our login function. So just tell me, as I have provided this case study of the security guard, what does the security guard do? He just matches the data which is provided by you while someone else tries to enter your house. So that kind of matching is performed when we try to log in a particular website. So whichever data we are providing at the time of registering will be stored in the database itself, and when we try to log in that website by providing the same credentials, at that time our credentials will be compared with those which are already present in the database. So here I will create one more variable, that is const login is equal to, here I will provide an asynchronous arrow function, a request and response as usual. Inside that, this time I am going to take only the email and password from the body. So here I will provide request dot body, and then I will start my try catch block. And here I will take the try catch block, and inside the try block I will check if the email and password are not present. So for that I will copy it from the first register method and I will paste it over here. And the message will also be, please provide email and password. And after that, what we are going to do, we will create a variable that is user is equal to, here again we are going to use the find one method. For that we will write await and then user dot find one, and inside that we will mention the email only, and then I will provide if not user, which means if the email is not existing in the database, which means what? The user has not registered himself in that website. So at that time, we will provide if not user, then return a response with a status code of 400. Dot, in a JSON format, provide a message, invalid credentials, which means if the email that you have provided at the time of login does not match to that email which is already present in the database, then it will provide, please provide, it will provide invalid credentials. And same goes for the password as well. And how to compare the password? With the help of bcrypt.compare method. So here what we are going to do, we will write const is match is equal to, starting with the await keyword, we will provide bcrypt dot compare method. Inside this, we will provide the two values. First one is the password which is stored inside the database, and second one is the password which is entered by the user at the time of login. And then placing the same condition again. I will copy it and then I will paste it over here. If not, is match. Then provide the same message, that is invalid credentials. After that, we are again going to provide the payload with the ID and email of the user, and then we are going to sign it again. So what I am going to do this time, I will provide the same things over here. And if any error occurs, then it is going to throw us the error. We'll save it now. And after that, what I am going to do, I will create one more route where I will try to get. Is there any doubt? Okay. Here I will create one more method, that is const. Say for example, the name of the method is me, an asynchronous function. Inside this, I will provide request and response as the parameters. Inside that, I will initialize a try catch block. Inside the try block, I will take const user is equal to await user dot. This user is the user schema, and then find by ID. And here what do we need to provide? We need to request the user for his ID. And then we are excluding the password with the help of select method. And then we are going to respond the user in the JSON format his own data. And in the console, we are going to log the error if any error occurs over there. And again with a response of status post 500 and server error. Now, we have signed the token. This time, I want to verify if the token which has the signature is exactly matching with that secret key which is present in my server. So what do I need to do? First of all, I need to export all these functions which I have written in this file with the help of module.exports is equal to register, login, and then me. After that, I will move to the middleware, that is auth.js. Inside this file, we are going to check if the token which is provided by the user is correct. So here we are going to import the JSON web token dependency. Require, and here I will provide JSON web token. After that, here I am going to create one more arrow function. So instead of exporting it in the last, I will export it with the help of module.export in the beginning itself. So here comes the arrow function with request, response, and next. Now, what is the meaning of next? Next is the middleware which helps us in order to pass the control from one middleware to another. What are middlewares? Middlewares are those pieces of code which are executed before the response is sent by the user, is sent by the server to the user. So over here, what I will do, I will write const auth header is equal to, here I will take request dot headers dot authorization. Or we can also take the authorization as a capital letter. All right. Now we have stored the authorization from the header inside the auth header. Now we will check if the auth header is not present, or if the authentication header does not start with the bearer prefix about which we have learned in the previous class. So here how to check that? we will provide if not auth header dot, we are having an inbuilt method that is starts with. Inside this, I will mention the bearer token. What will happen at that time? Then it will return a response of status code 401 with a JSON message no token provided. And here I will provide const token. Now, what are we actually doing? Whenever we are dealing with the JWT, we do not require the bearer. We just require the token which is having the payload of the user. So here what are we going to do? In order to extract only the token from the bearer token together, we will write auth header dot, with the help of split method. Inside the split, we are going to mention a space. And then we are going to take the token which is stored in the first index of the array, because it's stored in the second index of the array, because in the first index the bearer prefix is stored. That is why instead of taking 0, we are taking 1 over here. And then we will begin with the try catch block again. Inside the try block, I will write const decoded as the variable is equal to, here we are going to use the verify method in order to check if the token is correct. How to check that? We are going to verify if the token which is also having the secret key matches with the secret key which is present in the server. So here we will write jwt dot verify. Inside that we will provide the token and then process, not the prototype, we will write process dot env dot jwt secret. And after that we will write request dot user is equal to his id, which is going to be the decoded id. Id means what? From the token we are extracting the id. All right. And then the email. Dot email. And the control to the next middleware. That is why we'll provide next over here. And if any error is happen, response with a status code of 401, and then provide a JSON message, token is invalid. So this is the middleware that will be executed in order to test the token. Now we are also done with the middleware. What is the next thing to do? We are going to create routes for the different methods that we have written inside the authcontroller.js for register, login, and one more function. We'll go to the auth.js and here we will import the express is equal to require express and then take const router is equal to, and from the express take the router and then import the methods which we have written inside the authcontroller.js. Const register followed by the login and then me. All of them we are going to import from the controller and then from the auth controller. After that, take the middleware as well. So for that, here I will write auth is equal to require from the middleware take auth. After that, use the HTTP methods. To register, we will use the post method with the endpoint register. And then we will call the register method. And then again, we will use the router dot post. Inside this, the endpoint for login is login itself. And then call the login method. And then in order to get my data dot get, over here the endpoint is going to be me, and then call it, and then finally export the routers with the help of module dot exports is equal to router. And I have already declared the server inside which we are providing the port number in order to run the server. Along with that, I have also provided the endpoints to these routes. So when we will go to our server, here we have connected our MongoDB. And then we will run this entire backend. So here we will go to the terminal, new terminal, remove the port number from here, save it, and then npm install nodemon. Nodemon server.js. Try to run the function. Mongo URI is not defined. What did we store in the env? Mongo URI. Same thing, right? Copy it. Okay, all right. Moving on to the server.js. It's written already. Okay, here we need to write process dot env dot mongo URI. Now the server has started and the MongoDB also got connected. I will move to my Postman extension, and here I will test my server. HTTP 5 localhost 5000, and then here I will provide the endpoint that I have written in the server, API and then auth, API, auth, and then register. The method is going to be the post. Inside the body, I will provide the related data. Email is going to be, say for example, Shirin 456 @gmail.com. And before that, I will provide the name, which is going to be Shirin. And after the password, I will provide over here the value Shirin. Now I will try to send it. Server error. Okay, it is saying data must be a string or buffer and salt must either be a salt string or a number of rounds. Okay, we will go back to our controller. And here, instead of gen salt, we can also provide salt value directly. Let's say we'll provide 10 over here. See, the token got generated, right? Along with the token, we are getting the ID, name, and email of Shirin. Now what we will do, we will copy this entire token and then in the authorization, we will choose the bearer token. And then here we are going to provide the token that we have copied. And in place of register, we are going to provide the login as the endpoint. And inside the body, we will remove the name over here. And we'll just provide the email and password in order to log in. Send it again. See, the token again got generated. And this time, we are getting the same data, ID, name, and email in order to uh, uh, as a response. Copy it and then paste it over here. And then here I will provide me and I will send a GET request this time. Send it. What is it saying? Cannot read properties of undefined reading ID. Okay. Go back to the controller. Okay, so here we also need to provide the ID of the user. So in the body, we will also provide the ID. So here I will go back and we will check in MongoDB. Yeah, where is it? Over here. Okay, so ID of Shirin is this part. So can you people see the timestamp that is written over here? The created and updated at. These are the timestamp which got generated because we have mentioned timestamp over there. Remove it. Going back to the controller, we will write request dot instead of providing in the user, we will write params. Here we are going to write ID. After me, I'm going to paste the ID. Make the get request. See, the ID of Shirin got provided me with all the details which is present inside the database, but excluding the password. Why did it not return as the password? Because we have written select and then we have mentioned password inside that over here. So this is the much that we had to learn today in order to generate the token, the JSON web token, while registering and logging in. And if you people have any kind of doubt, then you people can ask me, or else you people can leave the meeting.